Hello and welcome to the premiere of A Midsummer Night's Dream, an audio drama. I'm Logan Verdorn, I'm the artistic director here at Shakespearean Youth Theatre, and I'm standing here on the set of the show. Over the last 2 months, this extraordinary group of young artists has been hard at work, rehearsing over Zoom and through outdoor socially distanced rehearsals, culminating in recording sessions that happen right here behind these plexiglass booths. Over the next half hour, you'll hear parts of my conversation with the director of A Midsummer Night's Dream, Lucas Brazier-Fons. But before that, I want to tell you about a new initiative SYT is launching tonight, the Dream Project. The Dream Project is a new way of experiencing Shakespeare, an online platform that will bring you our full season of audio dramas, starting with A Midsummer Night's Dream, alongside interactive editions of the script. Each script will contain notes and commentary from members of the creative team, alongside behind-the-scenes footage and analysis from the young actors themselves, bringing you a more immersive and dynamic experience of the show. We're so excited to be launching this major undertaking tonight, directly following the premiere. During the premiere, you'll get a sneak peek at some of the major features on the website, including a read-along script, as well as notes on the side. So, we hope you'll stick around, check out the website and all its special features after the premiere. And now, without further ado, my conversation with the director of A Midsummer Night's Dream, Lucas Brazier-Fons. So, hello, Lucas.
Hi, Logan.
Hi. First of all, if you would just talk about A Midsummer Night's Dream and your just the things that really excite you about it, and what inspired you in this production in particular that these lovely folks are listening to or about to listen to.
Yeah. A Midsummer Night's Dream, I think, is a play that for a lot of theater goers will, in all likelihood, be their introduction to Shakespeare. It'll be the first play that maybe you encountered ever, whether it's by Shakespeare or any other writer. I know it was the first play I ever saw when I was 4 years old, and I think it has the reputation of being the ideal kid's introduction to Shakespeare. And so when the prospect of doing it with Shakespearean Youth Theatre here with our young artists and young ensemble came up, that was definitely something that was on my mind, in the sense of, will working on this play with young artists confirm that juvenile reputation, or will it somehow be subverted through it? And it's a play. It's a play that is very joyful, very celebratory, ends in multiple weddings, and it is also one that has some kind of concurrent dark and creepy elements that go along with it. But I think the dominant tone that most people experience when they see this play is a fun. It's a festive, enjoyable play, and it is one that I would argue is better illuminated by the passion of young artists, particularly in our case, generally teenaged performers, than by the polish of a large-scale Broadway production. There's something about the play's heart, exuberance, that does respond well to it being performed by young actors, and them bringing that particular vitality to it.
The lovers are essentially, and this is lovers being Demetrius, Lysander, Helena, and Hermia, have all sort of gone through this, night of, dark night of the soul, and they come out of it, and you kind of feel, oftentimes in production, you feel like that has to be the end of the story. And so what is interesting about finding out what it was that he was adding, and Shakespeare was really adding to, and why he felt it necessary to add this extra culmination through live performance and through theater is really interesting.
What's, I think, just a fun extra textual element of the Pyramus and Thisbe play that the Mechanicals perform is that Pyramus and Thisbe seems to be one of the source inspirations for Romeo and Juliet, which is a play that's usually dated a little earlier than A Midsummer Night's Dream. So, not a super active dramatic element, but there is an enjoyable emotionality in considering Shakespeare kind of parodying the caustic young love of his earlier hit in this play as well. But I will say that, as soon as we started talking about when we planned this for a live season, which was Hamlet and Midsummer Night's Dream, you could argue the two most famous Shakespeare plays, there was the sense that I thought that the play within the play was really important, and kind of came to reasons as to why later. I had a sense far out that like I think it's really necessary that the play, and not just our enjoyment of the play, ends with Pyramus and Thisbe. And then you had a brilliant idea, which is used in this production, which I completely stole, which is, well, what if you switch the first two scenes? Because it normally starts with Theseus and Hippolyta about their addressing Hermia and Lysander's marriage intrigue. And then the second scene introduces Nick Bottom and Peter Quince and the people putting on the play. And you said, well, what if you just swapped those and you started with the mechanicals, which immediately has the act of foregrounding their story in a more important way. People switch the first two scenes of Shakespeare often. Twelfth Night often happens. Macbeth, sometimes people switch those. But that was not something that I've ever seen happen with this play before. And immediately that's when, okay, that's going to put us on the right track towards getting to where we want to go. Eventually we'll figure out some other things along the way. But that was a simple and yet, I think, profound reversal of something that we didn't normally see, that ultimately prepares us for the emotional culmination of this play happening with the mechanicals.
And I think that one of the things that's so in that conversation that we had when we were first sort of batting around this, this idea and just like chatting about concepts and ideas for the dream is all of this, of course, in the context of the fact that we were thinking about staging this.
We were, weren't we?
But was all about because it was your idea that you wanted to foreground the mechanicals and also what a lovely idea it is to start this play with this intrepid group of players who are starting the process of making a play.
Yeah.
Which is just a really delightful sort of double. Double start.
Right, that you get the sense that as they're building the infrastructure of their Pyramus and Thisbe play, along with their journey, we go on their journey with them in terms of building of the world of A Midsummer Night's Dream.
I want to focus on that one specific moment in the show that sort of is a beautiful culmination that you came up with, and that we have our brilliant sound designers,
to be sure,
Kevin Springer and Dan Dukic, who wrote the music and created the score, the beautiful score for this piece, is this moment towards the end, and you were inspired by this moment of actually when the mechanicals were coming out of the woods, or at least our journey with the specific mechanical Bottom.
Yeah, Bottom, when he wakes up after his quote-unquote dream, though of course it was real. He just happened to be magicked into a world where Puck gave him a donkey's head, and he got to have a night of passion with the ultimate goddess, queen of the fairies, Titania. It gets quite surreal, where yes, a queen and men with donkey's head have a liaison. Bottom wakes up in the having experienced it sort of as a dream. And then he wakes up and he is pondering, what he just experienced. And he, as the speech, I had a most rare vision. And he begins to kind of contemplate the deeper meanings of what he just experienced. And he doesn't do it in very explicit terms. Shakespeare as a writer is usually really great at giving characters incredibly specific and eloquent encapsulations of their own emotional life. He gives them usually the perfect thing to say, quite often. This is an instance where it doesn't happen that often in Shakespeare. Maybe there are other instances, I can't really think of any right now, where Shakespeare gives a character feelings and thoughts that are bigger than his ability to express them. Bottom is grasping for words. Methought I was, there's no man can tell what. Methought I had, man is but a patched fool if he will offer to say what methought I had. He doesn't quite have the vocabulary to explain the experience that he just had.
Shakespeare did.
We
assume he probably did.
I assume he did. He had the quote for every occasion. But for some reason, Bottom is shown in a kind of in a gentle, endearing comedic way, not having the right language to apply to this profound experience he just went through. And he goes into this passage where Bottom says, he says, the eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. He kind of inverts the senses a little bit, which could be comedic buffoonery. Bottom and the mechanicals in general have a lot of malapropisms. They get words wrong, but there seems to be something of a bit of... There's a sense of synesthesia of Bottom saying that my senses in and of themselves are inadequate to totally express what I just went through. The Shakespeare scholars out there, Ron Rosenbaum's book, The Shakespeare Wars, was really influential to me in this, because in that book, it shows that Bottom, when he's talking about the eye of man, the eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen, it's a sort of goofy little inversion of St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians. And if you look, this is getting really nerdy, but if you look at the first printing of the Geneva Bible, which is probably the Bible Shakespeare would have read, came out in late 1550s. St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, he says, the eye of man hath not seen, the ear of man hath not heard, etc. Nothing has entered into the thought of man, that which God hath prepared for those that love him. And then there's a little afterwards says, for the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the very bottom of God's secrets, which is one of those too tidy, too cute coincidences. But there is something attractive about the idea that the person who is our conduit to the spirit world, who goes on this incredibly profound psychedelic journey, is this, this relatively simple-minded weaver who suddenly is having feelings bigger than his ability to express them. And so I thought that he then later says, well, I'm going to get Peter Quince, my playwright director, I'm going to get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream, and I'm going to sing it in the play. Shakespeare doesn't give us that dream performance in the text.
That ballad.
No, he doesn't give it the ballad.
Which is sort of unlike him, actually. He usually does write us at least some lyrics.
He quite often does. In this instance, for some reason, Bottom says that they're going to do this performance of this ballad of his dream that's going to somehow encompass his dream. It's going to somehow describe what he went through. We don't get that. What we do get is that before the entertainment of the wedding festivities is over, after the performance of Pyramus and Thisbe, Bottom offers a Bergamask kind of courtly dance that they can do. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if we got to hear what the Ballad of Bottom's Dream sounded like? And what if that was the thing that ultimately took us into the final, the next level of emotion, the final emotional climax of the play comes, because we've been following the mechanicals throughout, and then Bottom's expression of his dream would be the pinnacle in that version. And so I thought, well, I think that would be fun. We did a workshop back in February called Reimagining Midsummer in prep for this show, and I had all the kids, including myself, and we all wrote, well, what would the Ballad of Bottom's Dream sound like? And I had a couple pieces of inspiration that I knew. I wanted this to be Bottom's Bruce Springsteen at the Super Bowl moment, his kind of rock god status moment whereby he achieves his personal revelation in the form of a song. And so I gave that high and lofty task of, searching the very bottom of God's secrets in song form to our incredible sound and music designers and composers, Kevin Springer and Dan Dukic, and they came up with as fine a song of the summer and as fine an original Shakespeare dramatic musical creation as I can envisage, that is sung by Vivian C. as Bottom in the course of this, that I think serves very appropriately as that the pinnacle of the feeling of the play and where Bottom's journey ultimately ends up. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's not something that's in the script, but that felt like a moment that was another one of those things that I felt, oh, that's really key to the release of this play, to what we ultimately should be feeling at the very end of it, that demanded in this instance new text.
When you consider Midsummer Night's Dream in the context of 2020, COVID-19, one of the things about Midsummer that is so probably widely known is you think of it as a very rollicking, fun sort of love fest of a play that that has some stranger elements and obviously some fairy elements, but that generally is a very fun, summery show. And in the context of this particular summer, that doesn't necessarily feel as fun, but there's also a level of there's also a depth of and a feeling of community and a sort of celebration of community in a way that and I also find it very moving that in the end there's something that everybody comes together to watch this this play, and they're all there together. I assume not socially distanced, and they're able to really, maybe in spite of themselves, fall in love with this sort of ridiculous play that the mechanicals put on, and find the humanity and the heart within that in a way that they didn't realize. And that's obviously the beauty that art can be, right? You don't realize what you can get from it until you receive it, and then it could be something that you were completely not expecting.
I think that's a really surprising element, in the sense that we think of Midsummer Night's Dream, I think, as one of the more, despite its magical elements, orthodox Shakespeare plays, but we forget that it ends with this pretty avant-garde climax, which is this pretentious production of Pyramus and Thisbe performed by these working-class artisans of Athens, and that the play could end with the culmination of the lover storyline, but chooses as its coda to have this communal experience be the culmination of the lover's journey. And so the act, particularly when that is taken away in a world where we don't right now responsibly, safely have great outlets for live entertainment, seeing people and hearing people in the context of Midsummer have these emotional revelations that you realize can only be achieved through the communal act of storytelling, that there is something, regardless of the quote-unquote quality of the play that you're watching, that allows what people say, the invisible to become visible, that the magic that you experience through a crazy night in the forest, that magic is replicable and able to be recreated in life, and it's through acts of communal storytelling where that happens. And so that is both, it's unfortunate in the sense that that type of live interaction isn't happening right now, but it also is reassuring in its reminder that is irreplaceable, that type of in this play, like, people's marriages get solidified through the act of watching this show. And people come away having a new outlook on how one finds revelation in your own life. You don't necessarily need to be drugged by the fairies and go off and have this crazy psychedelic experience in order to have a deeper and more intimate relationship with your romantic partner. That sometimes the act of watching a story, hearing a story being told to you, is what brings about that emotional closeness. That there, I think we sympathize easily with the type of movie where you're there with your date, and at the beginning you're kind of you're sitting there in the movie theater, and then whatever happens, the movie continues on, and by the end you're holding hands. And that's a very subtle shift as to when that happens, but it's also incredibly telling, and it's the artwork that allowed your physical contact in that instance to occur. And that, I think, is it's both trite in the sense that, live theater is a place that is magical and where magic can occur. But nonetheless, this play happens to express it so well and so profoundly that in a world where doing live theater is not super possible right now, hearing this story being told and the catharsis of that communal coming together and that communal revelation is incredibly powerful and is incredibly moving, and hopeful in its own way, even if it doesn't happen to be the exact world we're living in right now.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Lucas. I think his analysis really shed some light on the production as well as the play as a whole. Now, we're going to take a short break before we get started, so now's the time to grab some popcorn, turn off your cell phones, and we'll meet you back here at 7 for the premiere of A Midsummer Night's Dream, an audio drama.
Shakespearean Youth Theatre presents A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. In the city of Athens, a group of laborers under the leadership of Nick Bottom and Peter Quince decides to put on a play to perform at the upcoming wedding of Duke Theseus and his new bride, the Duchess Hippolyta. Inside Theseus' court, young Hermia is threatened with execution if she does not acquiesce to her father's demand that she marry Demetrius, a demand which causes her and her true love, Lysander, to flee to the forest to seek their freedom outside the Athenian law. Meanwhile, Hermia's friend Helena, who is in love with Demetrius, decides to inform him of the intended escape, and they both pursue the runaway lovers out of Athens. Once in the forest, we meet the king and queen of the fairies, Oberon and Titania, engaged in a marital dispute over custody of a young boy. Not to mention Robin Goodfellow, also known as Puck, who sees to it no one makes it out of the forest without a fair amount of mischief. And now, A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Is all our company here?
You were best to call them generally, man by man, according to the script.
Here is the scroll of every man's name, which is thought fit through all Athens to plan our interlude before Duke Theseus and his bride Hippolyta, on their wedding day, at night.
First, good Peter Quince, say what the play treats on, then read the names of the actors, and so grow on to a point.
Mary, our play is the most lamentable comedy and most cruel death of Pyramus and Thisbe.
I gotta say, the book
A very good piece of work, I assure you. And a merry. Now, good Peter Quince, call forth your actors by the scroll. Masters, spread yourselves.
Answer as I call you. Nick Bottom the Weaver.
Ready? Name what part I am for and proceed.
You, Nick Bottom, are set down for Pyramus.
What is Pyramus? A lover or a tyrant?
A lover that kills himself most gallantly for love.
What a
That will ask some tears in the true performing of it. If I do it, let the audience look to their eyes. I will move storms. I will condole in some measure. To the rest.
Francis
Yet
Flute.
my chief humor is for a tyrant. I could play Heracles rarely, or a part to tear a cat in to make all split. The raging rocks and shivering shocks shall break the locks of prison gates, and Phoebus' car will shine from far and make and mar the foolish fates. Wow. This was lofty. Now name the rest of the players.
Francis
This is
Flute.
Heracles' vein, a tyrant's vein. A lover is more condoling.
Francis Flute the bellows mender.
Here, Peter Quince.
Flute, you must take Thisbe on you.
What is Thisbe, a wandering knight?
It is the lady that Pyramus must love.
Nay, Faith, let me not play a woman. I have a beard. Coming.
No, he doesn't.
That's all one. You shall play it in a mask, and you may speak as small as you will.
And I may hide my face. Let me play Thisbe too. I'll speak in a monstrous little voice. Thisne, Pyramus, my lovey, thy Thisbe dear and lady dear.
No. You must play Pyramus, and Flute, you Thisbe.
Well, proceed.
Robin Starveling, the tailor.
Here, Peter Quince.
Robin Starveling, you must play Thisbe's mother. Tom Snout, the tanker.
Here, Peter Quince.
You, Pyramus' father. Yes. Myself, Thisbe's father. Snug the joiner, you the lion's part. And I hope there is a play fitted.
Have you the lion's part written? Pray you, if be, give it me, for I am slow of study.
You may do it extempore, for it is nothing but roaring.
Let me play the lion too. I will roar that I will do any man's heart good to hear me. I will roar that I will make the Duke say, "Let him roar again! Let him roar again."
If you should do it too terribly, you would fright the Duchess and the ladies that they would shriek, and that were enough to hang us all.
That would hang us.
Every mother's son.
I grant you, friends, if that you should fright the ladies out of their wits, they would have no more discretion but to hang us. But I will aggravate my voice so that I will roar you as gently as any sucking dove. I will roar and tour any nightingale. Roar.
You can play no part but Pyramus. For Pyramus is a sweet-faced man, a proper man as one shall see in a summer's day, a most lovely, gentlemanlike man. Therefore, you must needs play Pyramus.
Well, I will undertake it. What manner am I best to play it in?
Why, what you will. But, masters, here are your parts, and I'm to request you, desire you, and entreat you to con them by tomorrow night, and meet me in the palace wood a mile without the town. There we will rehearse. For if we meet in the city, we shall be dogged with company and our devices known. In the meantime, I will draw a bill of properties such as our play wants. I pray you, fail me not.
We will meet, and there we may rehearse more obscenely and courageously. Take pains. Be perfect. Adieu.
At the Duke's Oak we meet.
Enough. Hold or cut bowstrings.
Now, fair Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on apace. 3 happy days bring in another moon, but oh, methinks how slow this old moon wanes. It lingers my desires, like to a stepdame or a dowager, long withering out a young man's revenue.
3 days will quickly steep themselves in nights. 3 nights will quickly dream away the time. And then the moon, like to a silver bow now bent in heaven, shall behold the night of our solemnities.
My soonest bride will stir the Athenian youths to merriments, awake the pert and nimble spirit of our mirth, turn melancholy forth to funerals. This pale companion is not for our pomp.
Happy be Theseus, our renowned duke.
Thanks, good Aegeus. What's the news with thee?
Full of vexation, come I with complaint against my child, my daughter Hermia. Stand forth, Demetrius. My noble lord, this man hath my consent to marry her. Stand forth, Lysander. And, my gracious duke, this man hath bewitched the bosom of my child. Thou, Lysander, thou hast given her rhymes and interchanged love tokens with my child. With cunning hast thou filched my daughter's heart. Turn her obedience, which is due to me, to stubborn harshness. And, my gracious duke, be it so she will not hear before your grace consent to marry with Demetrius, I beg the ancient privilege of Athens, as she is mine, I may dispose of her, which shall be either to this gentleman or to her death, according to our law, immediately provided in that case.
What say you, Hermia? Be advised, fair maid, to you your father should be as a god. Demetrius is a worthy gentleman.
So is Lysander.
In himself he is, but in this kind, wanting your father's voice, the other should be held the worthier.
I do entreat your grace to pardon me. I know not by what power I am made bold, but I beseech you, sir, that I may know the worst that may befall me in this case, if I refuse to wed Demetrius.
Either to die, the death, or else forever to abjure the society of men. Therefore, fair Hermia, question your desires, know of your youth, examine well your blood, whether, if you yield not to your father's choice, you can endure the livery of a nun, to live a barren sister all your life, chanting faint hymns to the cold, fruitless moon.
So will I grow, so live, so die, my lord, ere I will yield my virgin patent up unto Demetrius.
Take time to pause, and on the next new moon, the sealing day betwixt my love and me, either prepare to die for disobedience to your father's will, or else to wed Demetrius, as he would, or on Diana's altar to protest for austerity in single life.
Relent, sweet Hermia, and Lysander, yield thy crazed title to my certain right.
You have her father's love, Demetrius. Let me have Hermia's. Do you marry him?
Scornful Lysander! True he hath my love, and what is mine my love shall render him. And she is mine, and all my right of her I do estate unto Demetrius.
I am, my lord, as well derived as he, as well possessed. My love is more than his, and, which is more than all of these boasts can be, I am beloved of beauteous Hermia.
Aww.
Why should not I then prosecute my right? Demetrius, I'll avouch it to his head, made love to Nader's daughter Helena, and won her soul, and she, sweet lady, devoutly dotes in idolatry upon this spotted and inconstant man.
I must confess that I have heard so much, and with Demetrius thought to have spoke thereof. But being overfull of self-affairs, my mind did lose it. But Demetrius, come, Aegeus, I have some private schooling for you both. For you, fair Hermia, look you arm yourself to fit your fancies to your father's will, or else the law of Athens yields you up, which by no means we may extenuate, either to death or to a vow of single life. Come, Hippolyta! What cheer, my love? Demetrius and Aegeus, come along.
With duty and desire we follow you.
How now, my love? Why are your cheeks so pale? How chance the roses there do fade so fast?
Like for want of rain, which I could well beteem them from the tempest of mine eyes.
For aught that ever I could read, could ever hear by tale or history, the course of true love never did run smooth. But either it was different in blood,
Oh, cross! Too high to be enthralled to love.
or else it was misgrafted in respect of years,
Oh, spite! Too old to be engaged to young.
or else it stood upon the choice of merit.
Choose love by another's eye.
And if there were a sympathy in choice, war, death, or sickness did lay siege to it.
True lovers have been ever crossed. It stands as an edict in destiny.
'Tis true. And therefore hear me, Hermia. I have a widow aunt, a dowager, of great revenue. She hath no child, from Athens her house is removed 7 leagues, and she respects me as her only son. There, gentle Hermia, may I marry thee? And to that place the sharp Athenian law cannot pursue us. If thou lovest me, then steal forth thy father's house tomorrow night, and in the wood a league without the town, there I will wait for thee.
My good Lysander, I swear to thee, by Cupid's strongest bow, by his best arrow with the golden head, by the simplicity of Venus' doves, by that which knitteth souls and prospers love, by that fire which burned the Carthage queen when the false Troyan under sail was seen, and by all the vows that ever men have broke in number more than ever women spoke. In that same place thou hast appointed me. Tomorrow truly will I meet with thee.
Keep promise, love. Look, here comes Helena.
Oh, Godspeed, fair Helena. Whither away?
Call you me fair? That fair again unsay. Demetrius loves your fair. Oh, happy fair. Your eyes are lodestars, and your tongue sweet air, more tunable than lark to shepherd's ear when wheat is green, when hawthorn buds appear. Sickness is catching. Oh, were favor so, your words I'd catch. Fair Hermia, ere I go, oh, teach me how you look, and with what art you sway the motion of Demetrius' heart.
I frown upon him, yet he loves me still.
Oh, that your frowns would teach my smiles such skill.
I give him curses, yet he gives me love.
Oh, that my prayers could such affection move.
The more I hate, the more he follows me.
The more I love, the more he hateth me.
His folly, Helena, is none of mine.
None but your beauty. Would that fault were mine.
Take comfort. He no more shall see my face. Lysander and myself will fly this place.
Oh, Helen, to you our minds we will unfold. Tomorrow night, when Phoebe doth behold her silver visage in the watery glass, decking with liquid pearl the bladed grass, a time where lovers' flights doth still conceal, through Athens' gates we have devised to steal.
And in the woods, where often you and I upon faint primrose beds were wont to lie emptying our bosoms of their counsels swelled, there my Lysander and myself shall meet, and thence from Athens turn away our eyes to seek new friends and strange companions. Farewell, sweet playfellow, and pray thou for us. And good luck. Grant thee thy Demetrius. Keep word, Lysander. We must starve our sight from lovers' food till morrow deep midnight.
I will, my Hermia. Helena, adieu, as you on him, Demetrius dote on you.
How happy some or other some can be. Through Athens I am thought as fair as she. But what of that? Demetrius thinks not so. He will not know what all but he doth know. And as he errs, doting on Hermia's eyes, so I, admiring of his qualities, things base and vile, holding no quantity, love can transpose to form and dignity. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid painted blind. Nor hath love's mind of any judgment taste. Wings and no eyes figure unheedy haste, and therefore is love said to be a child, because in choice he's often beguiled, as waggish boys in game themselves forswear, so the boy love is perjured everywhere. For ere Demetrius looked on Hermia's Aine, he hailed down oaths that he was only mine. And when this hail some heat from Hermia felt, so he dissolved, and showers of oaths did melt. I will go tell him of fair Hermia's flight. Then to the wood will he tomorrow night pursue her. And for this intelligence, if I have thanks, it is a dear expense. But herein mean I to enrich my pain, to have his sight thither, but back again.
Spirit, whither wander you?
Over hill, over dale,
Through a bush,
through a briar,
over park,
over pale,
through a flood.
through a fire.
I do wander everywhere.
Swifter than the moon's sphere.
And I serve the fairy queen.
To do her orbs upon the green.
The cowslips tall her pensioners be.
In their gold coats, spots you see.
Those be rubies, fairy favors.
In their freckles live their savors.
I must go seek some dewdrops here.
And hang a pearl every cowslip's ear. Farewell, thou lob of spirits.
I'll be gone.
The queen and all her elves come here anon.
The king doth keep his revels here tonight. Take heed the queen come not within his sight, for Oberon is passing fell and wrath, that she, as her attendant, hath a lovely boy, stolen from an Indian king. She never had so sweet a changeling, and jealous Oberon would have the child, knight of his train to trace the forest wild. But she, perforce, withholds the loved boy, crowns him with flowers, and makes him all her joy. And now they never meet in grove or green, by fountain clear or spangled starlight sheen. They do square, all their elves for fear, creep into acorn cups and hide them there.
Either I mistake your shape in making quite.
Or else you are that shrewd and knavish sprite.
Called Robin Goodfellow, are you not he?
That fights the maidens of the villagery.
Skim milk and sometimes labor in the kern.
And bootless makes the breathless housewife churn.
Those that hobgoblin call you, and sweet Puck.
You do your work, and you shall have good luck.
Are
you not
he?
Thou speakest aright. I am that merry wanderer of the night. I jest Oberon and make him smile when I a fat and bean-fed horse beguile, neighing in likeness of a filly foal. And sometimes lurk I in a gossip's bowl, in very likeness of a roasted crab. And when she drinks against her lips, I bob, and on her withered dewlap pour the ale. Oh, the wisest aunt, telling the saddest tale. Sometimes for a 3-foot stool mistaketh me, then slip I from her bum, down topples she, and Taylor cries and falls into a cough. And then the whole choir hold their hips and laugh, and waxen in their mirth and knees, and swear a merrier hour we're near wasted there. But room fairy, here comes Oberon.
And here my mistress, would that you were gone.
Ill met by moonlight, proud Titania.
What? Jealous Oberon? Fairies, skip hence. I have forsworn his bed and company.
Tarry, rash wanton, am not I thy lord?
Then I must be thy lady. Why art here come from the farthest steep of India? But that forsooth the bouncing Amazon, your buskined mistress and your warrior love, to Theseus must be wedded. And you come to give their bed joy and prosperity.
How canst thou thus, for shame, Titania, glance at my credit with Hippolyta, knowing I know thy love to Theseus? Didst thou not lead him through the glimmering night from Perigenia, whom he ravished, and make him with fair eagles break his faith with Ariadne and Antiopa?
These are the forgeries of jealousy. And never since midsummer's spring met we on hill, in dale, forest, or mead, by paved fountain, or by rushy brook, or in the beached margent of the sea, to dance our ringlets to the whistling wind. But with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore the winds, piping to us in vain, as in revenge have sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling in the land hath every petty river made so proud they have overborne their continents. The ox hath therefore stretched his yoke in vain, the plowman lost his sweat, and the green corn hath rotted ere his youth attained beard. The fold stands empty in the drowned field, and crows are fatted on the murren flock. The 9 men's morris is filled up with mud, and the quaint mazes in the wanton green for lack of tread are undistinguishable. The human mortals want their winter here. No night is now with hymn or carol blessed. Therefore the moon, the governess of floods, pale in her anger, washes all the air that rheumatic diseases do abound. And through this distemperature, we see the seasons alter. Hoary-headed frosts fall in the fresh lap of the crimson rose, and on old Hyam's chin and icy crown an odorous chaplet of sweet summer buds is as in mockery set. The spring, the summer, the childing autumn, angry winter change their wonted liveries, and the maced world by their increase now knows not which is which. And this same progeny of evils comes from our debate, from our dissension. We are their parents and original.
Do you amend it, then? It lies in you. Why should Titania cross her Oberon? I do but beg a little changeling boy to be my henchman.
Set your heart at rest! The fairyland buys not the child of me. His mother was a votress of my order, and in the spiced Indian air by night full often hath she gossiped by my side, and sat with me on Neptune's yellow sands, marking the embarked traders on the flood.
when we have laughed to see the sails conceive and grow big-bellied with the wanton wind, which she with pretty and with swimming gait following, her womb then rich with my young squire would imitate, and sail upon the land to fetch me trifles and return again, as if from a voyage rich with merchandise. But she being mortal of that boy did die, and for her sake I do rear up her boy, and for her sake I will not part with him.
How long within this wood intend you stay?
Perchance till after Theseus' wedding day, if you will patiently dance in our round and see our moonlight revels. Go with us. If not, shun me, and I will spare your haunts.
Give me that boy, and I will go with thee.
Not for thy fairy kingdom! Fairies away, we shall chide downright if I longer stay.
Well, go thy way. Thou shalt not from this grove till I torment thee for this injury. My gentle Puck, come hither. Thou rememberest, since once I sat upon a promontory and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath that the rude sea grew civil at her song, and certain stars shot madly from their spheres to hear the sea maid's music.
I remember.
That very time I saw, but thou couldst not, flying between the cold moon and the earth, Cupid all armed, a certain Aine he took at a fair vestal, throned by the west, and loosed his love shaft smartly from his bow, as it should pierce 100,000 hearts. Yet, marked I where the bolt of Cupid fell. It fell upon a little western flower, before milk-white, now purple with love's wound, and maidens call it love in idleness. Fetch me that flower, the herb I showed thee once. The juice of it, on sleeping eyelids laid, will make or man or woman madly dote upon the next live creature that it sees. Fetch me this herb, and be thou here again ere the Leviathan can swim a league.
I'll put a girdle round about the earth in 40 minutes.
Having once this juice, I'll watch Titania when she is asleep and drop the liquor of it in her eyes. The next thing, when she waking looks upon, be it on lion, bear, or wolf, or bull, on meddling monkey, or on busy ape, she shall pursue it with the soul of love. And ere I take this charm off from her sight, as I can take it with another herb, I'll make her render up her boy to me. But who comes here? I am invisible, and I will overhear their conference.
I love thee not, therefore pursue me not. Where's Lysander and fair Hermia? The one I'll stay, the other stayeth me. Thou told me they're stolen to this wood, and here am I, and wood within this wood, because I cannot meet my Hermia. Hence get thee gone, and follow me no more.
You draw me, you hard-hearted adamant, but yet you draw not iron, for my heart is as true as steel. Leave you your power to draw, and I shall have no power to follow you.
Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not, in plainest truth, tell you I do not, I cannot love you.
And even for that, do I love thee the more. I am your spaniel. And Demetrius, the more you beat me, I will fawn on you. Use me but as your spaniel. Spurn me, strike me, neglect me, lose me, only give me leave, unworthy as I am, to follow you.
Tempt not too much the hatred of my spirit, for I am sick when I do look on thee.
And I am sick when I look not on you.
You do impede your modesty too much, to leave the city and commit yourself into the hands of one that loves you not. 2. Trust the opportunity of night, and the old counsel of a desert place with the rich worth of your virginity.
Your virtue is my privilege, for that it is not night when I do see your face,
Therefore I think I am not in the night, nor doth this wood lack worlds of company, for you in my respect are all the world. Then how can it be said I am alone when all the world is here to look on me?
I'll run from thee, and hide me in the brakes, and leave thee to the mercy of wild beasts.
The wildest hath not such a heart as you. Run when you will, the story shall be changed. Apollo flies, and Daphne holds the chase.
I'll not stay thy questions, let me go. Or, if thou follow me, do not believe, but I will do thee mischief in the wood.
I in the temple, in the town, and field you do me mischief. By Demetrius, your wrongs do set a scandal on my sex. We cannot fight for love as men may do. We should be wooed, and we're not made to woo. I follow thee, and make a heaven of hell to die upon the hand I love so well.
Fare thee well, nymph. Ere he do leave this grove, thou shalt fly him, and he shall seek thy love. Hast thou the flower there? Welcome, wanderer.
Aye, there it is.
I pray thee give it me. I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where oxlips and the nodding violet grows, quite over-canoped with luscious woodbine, with sweet musk roses, and with eglantine. There sleeps Titania, sometime of the night, lulled in these flowers with dances and delight. And there the snake froze her enameled skin, weed wide enough to wrap a fairy in, and with the juice of this I'll streak her eyes and make her full of hateful fantasies. Take thou some of it, and seek through this grove. A sweet Athenian lady is in love with a disdainful youth. Anoint his eyes, but do it when the next thing he espies may be the lady. Thou shalt know the man by the Athenian garments he hath on. Affect it with some care, that he may prove more fond on her than she upon her love. And look thou, meet me ere the first cock crow.
Fear not, my lord, your servant shall do so.
Fairy song. Then for the third part of a minute hence, some to kill cankers in the musk rosebud, some to war with rare mice for their leathern wings, to make my small elves coats, some to keep back the clamorous owl that nightly hoots and wonders at our quaint spirits. Sing me now to sleep, then to your offices, and let me rest.
You spotted snakes with double tongue, thorny hedgehogs be not seen, newts and blind ones do no wrong, come not near our fairy queen. Philomel of melody, sing nor sweet lullaby, never harm, nor spell, nor charm, come our lovely lady nigh, so good night was lullaby. In some way, all is well, one aloof stands sentinel.
What thou seest when thou dost wake, do it for thy true love take. Love and languish for his sake, be it lynx or cat or bear, pard or boar with bristled hair, in thy eye that shall appear when thou wakest, it is thy dear. Wake when some vile thing is near.
Fair love, you faint with wandering in the woods. And, to speak truth, I have forgot our way. We'll rest us if you think it good, and, tarry for the comfort of the day.
Be it so, Lysander. Find you out a bed, for high upon this bank will rest my head.
One turf shall serve as pillow for us both. One heart, one bed, two bosoms, and one troth.
Nay, good Lysander. But for my sake, my dear, lie further off yet. Do not lie so near.
Oh, take the scent sweet of my innocence. Love takes the meaning in love's conference.
But, gentle friend, for love and courtesy, lie further off in human modesty. Such separation, as may well be said, becomes a virtuous bachelor and a maid. So far be distant, and good night, sweet friend. Thy love near altar till thy sweet life end.
Amen. Amen to that fair prayer, say I. And then end life when I end loyalty. Here is my bed. Sleep give thee all his rest.
With half that wish, the wisher's eyes be pressed.
Through the forest I have gone, but Athenian find I none. One whose eyes I might approve this flower's force in stirring glove. Night and silence! Who is here? Weeds of Athens he doth wear. This is he, my master said, despised the Athenian maid. Oh, and here the maiden, sleeping sound, on this dank and dirty ground. Pretty soul, she durst not lie near this lack love, this kill courtesy. Churl, upon thy eye I throw, all the power this charm doth owe. When thou wakest, let love forbid, sleep his seat on thy eyelid. So awake when I am gone, for I must now to Oberon.
Stay, though thou kill me, sweet Demetrius.
I charge thee hence, and do not haunt me thus.
Oh, wilt thou, darkling, leave me? Do not so.
Stay, on thy peril, I alone will go.
Oh, I am out of breath in this fond chase. The more my prayer, the lesser is my grace. Happy is Hermia, wheresoe'er she lies, for she hath blessed and attractive eyes. How came her eyes so bright? Not with salt tears. If so, my eyes are oftener washed than hers. No, I am as ugly as a bear. For beasts that meet me run away for fear. But who is here? Lysander? On the ground? Dead or asleep? I see no blood, no wound. Lysander, if you live, good sir, awake.
And run through fire I would for thy sweet sake. O transparent Helena, nature shows art, that through thy bosom make me see thy heart. Where is Demetrius? Oh, how fit a word is that vile name to perish on my sword.
Do not say so, Lysander, say not so. What, though he love your Hermia? Lord, what though? Yet Hermia still loves you, then be content.
Content with Hermia? No, I do repent the tedious minutes with her I've spent. Not Hermia, but Helena I now love. Who would not change a raven for a dove?
Wherefore was I to this keen mockery born? When at your hands did I deserve this scorn? Is it not enough, is it not enough, young man, that I did never, no, nor never can deserve a sweet look from Demetrius's eye, but you must flout my insufficiency? Now fare you well. Perforce I must confess I thought you lord of more true gentleness. Oh, that a lady of one man refused should of another therefore be abused.
She sees not Hermia. Oh, Hermia, sleep thou there, and never mayst thou come Lysander near. With all my powers address with love and might, to honor Helen, and to be her knight.
Oh, help me, Lysander, help me! Do thy best to pluck this crawling serpent from my breast. Ay me, for pity, what a dream was here. Oh, Lysander, look how I do quake with fear. Methought a serpent ate my heart away, and you sat smiling at his cruel prey. Lysander, what removed? Lysander, Lord, what out of hearing gone? Alack, where are you? Speak, and if you hear, speak of all loves. I swoon almost with fear. No, then I well perceive you are not nigh. Either death or you I'll find immediately.
Pat, and here's a marvelous convenient place for our rehearsal. This green plot shall be our stage, this hawthorn brake our tiring house, and we will do it in action as we will do it before the Duke.
Peter Quint,
What sayest thou, Bully Bottom?
there are things in this comedy of Pyramus and Thisbe that will never please. First, Pyramus must draw a sword to kill himself, which the ladies cannot abide. How answer you that?
By our Larkin, a parlous fear.
I believe we must leave the killing out when all is done.
Not a whit. I have a device that will make all well. Write me a prologue, and let the prologue seem to say, we do no harm with our swords, and Pyramus is not killed indeed. And, for the more better assurance, tell them that I, Pyramus, am not Pyramus, but Bottom, the Weaver. This will put him out of fear.
Well, we will have such a prologue.
Will not the ladies be afeard of the lion?
I fear it, I promise you.
Masters, you ought to consider with yourselves to bring in, God shield us, a lion among ladies is a most dreadful thing. For there is not a more fearful, wild, foul than your lion living. And we ought to look to it.
Therefore, another prologue must tell he is not a lion.
Nay, he must name his name, half his face must be seen through the lion's neck, and he himself must speak through, saying thus or to the same defect, ladies. Or, fair ladies, I would wish you.
I would wish
Or,
you.
I would request you. Or, I would entreat you. Not to fear, not to tremble. My life for yours. If you think I come hither as a lion, it were pity of my life.
It would be a pity.
No. I am a man.
You are a man.
As other men are. And there indeed, let him name his name and tell them plainly he is Snug, the joiner.
Well, it shall be so. But there is two hard things. That is to bring the moonlight into a chamber, for you know Pyramus and Thisbe meet by moonlight.
Doth the moon shine that night we play our play?
A calendar! A calendar! Look in the almanac! Find out moonshine! Find out moonshine!
Okay, Almanac.
Almanac. Too many pockets.
Yes, it doth shine that night.
Why then may you leave a casement of the great chamber window where we play open? And the moon may shine in at the casement.
Aye. Or else one must come in with a bush of thorns and a lantern and say he comes to disfigure or to present the person of moonshine. Then there is another thing. We must have a wall in the great chamber, for Pyramus and Thisbe, says the story, to talk through the hole in a wall.
You can never bring in a wall. Oh, what say you, Bottom?
Some man or other must present wall, and let him have some plaster, or some loam, or some rough cast about him, to signify wall. Or let him hold his fingers thus, and through that cranny shall Pyramus and Thisbe whisper.
If that may be, then all is well. Come, sit down, every mother's son, and rehearse your parts. Pyramus, you begin when you've spoken your speech, enter into that break, and so everyone according to his cue.
What hempen homespuns have we swaggering here? So near the cradle of the fairy queen. What? A play toward? I'll be an auditor. An actor too, perhaps, if I see cause.
Speak, Pyramus, Thisbe, stand forth.
Thisbe, the flowers of odious savor sweet.
Odors. Odors.
Odorars savor sweet. So hath thy breath, thy dearest Thisbe dear. Oi. But hark! A voice! Stay thou but here a while, and by I will to thee appear.
A stranger, Pyramus, than e'er played here.
Must I speak now?
I, Mary, must you, for you must understand he goes but to see a noise that he heard and is to come again.
Most radiant Pyramus, most lily white of hue, of color like the red rose on triumphant briar, most brisky juvenile and eke most lovely Jew, as true as truest horse that yet would never tire, I'll meet thee, Pyramus, at Ninny's tomb.
Ninus tomb, man. Why, you must not speak that yet. That you answer to Pyramus. You speak all your part at once. Cues and all. Pyramus, enter. Your cue is past. It is never tire.
As truest horse that yet will never tire.
Why were fair, Thisbe, I were only thine.
Oh, monstrous. Oh, strange. We are haunted. Pray, masters, fly, masters, help!
I'll follow you, I'll lead you about ground, through bog, through bush, through brake, through briar. Sometimes a horse I'll be, sometimes a hound, a hog, a headless bear, sometime a fire, and neigh and bark and grunt and roar and burn like horse, hound, hog, bear, fire at every turn!
Why do they run away? This is knavery of them to make me afeard.
Oh, Bottom, thou art changed. What do I see on thee?
What do you see? You see an ass head of your own, do you?
Bless thee, Bottom, bless thee, thou art translated!
I see their knavery. This is to make an ass of me, to fright me if they could. But I will not stir from this place. Do what they can. I will walk up and down here, and I shall sing that they shall hear I am not afraid. The woozle cock so black of hue, with orange tawny bill, the thrush so is his note so true, the wren and a little quill.
What angel wakes me from my flowery bed?
The finch, the sparrow, and the lark, whose plain song cuckoo gray, whose note full many a man doth mark, and dares not answer no. For indeed, who had set his wit to so foolish a bird?
I pray thee, gentle mortal, sing again. Mine ear is much enamored of thy note, so is mine eye enthralled to thy shape, and thy fair virtues force perforce doth move me, on first view, to say, to swear I love thee.
Methinks, mistress, you should have little reason for that. And yet, to say the truth, reason and love keep little company together nowadays. The more the pity that some honest neighbors will not make them friends. Nay, I can gleek upon occasion.
Thou art as wise as thou art beautiful.
Not so neither, but if I had wit enough to get out of this wood, I had enough to serve mine own turn.
Out of this wood do not desire to go. Thou shalt remain here whether thou wilt or no. I am a spirit of no common rate. The summer still doth tend upon my state, and I do love thee, therefore go with me. I'll give thee fairies to attend on thee, and they shall fetch thee jewels from the deep, and sing while thou on pressed flowers dost sleep. And I will purge thy mortal grossness so that thou wilt like an airy spirit go. Peaseblossom, Cobweb, Moth, and Mustardseed.
Ready?
And I.
And I.
Where
shall we go?
Be kind and courteous to this gentleman. Hop in his walks and gambol in his eyes. Feed him with apricots and dewberries, purple grapes, green figs, and mulberries. The honeybags steal from the humble bees, and 4 night tapers crop their waxen thighs, and light them at the fiery glowworm's eyes, to have my love to bed, and to arise, and pluck the wings from painted butterflies, to fan the moonbeams from his sleeping eyes. Nod to him, elves, and do him courtesies.
Hail, mortal.
Hail.
Hail. Hail. I cry your worship's mercy heartily. I do beseech your worship's name.
Cobweb.
I shall desire of you more acquaintance, good master Cobweb. If I cut my finger, I shall make fold with you. Your name, honest gentleman?
Peaseblossom.
I pray you commend me to Mistress Squash, your mother, and to Master Peascod, your father. I shall desire of you more acquaintance, good Master Peaseblossom. Your name, I beseech you, sir.
Mustardseed.
Good Master Mustardseed, I know your patience well. That same cowardly, giant-like ox beef hath devoured many a gentleman of your house. I promise you, your kindred had made my eyes water ere now. I shall desire of you more acquaintance, good Master Mustardseed.
Come, wait upon him, lead him to my bower. The moon, methinks, looks with a watery eye, and when she weeps, weep every little flower, lamenting some enforced chastity. Tie up my lover's tongue, bring him silently.
I wonder if Titania be awaked. Then, what it was that next came in her eye, which she must dote on in extremity. Here comes my messenger. How now, mad spirit? What night rule now about this haunted grove?
My mistress, with a monster, is in love. Near to her close and consecrated bower, while she was in her dull and sleeping hour, a crew of patches, rude mechanicals that work for bread upon Athenian stalls, were met together to rehearse a play intended for the great Theseus' nuptial day. The shallowest of that thick-skinned barren sort, who Pyramus presented in their sport, forsook his scene and entered in a break. When I did him at this advantage take, an ass's knoll I fixed on his head, anon his Thisbe must be answered, and forth my mimic comes, for when him they spy, as wild geese that creeping fowler eye, so at his sight, away his fellows fly. I led them on in distracted fear, and left sweet Pyramus translated there. When, in that moment, so it came to pass, Titania waked, and straightway loved an ass.
This falls out better than I could devise. But hast thou yet latched the Athenian's eyes with the love juice as I bid thee do?
I took him sleeping, that is finished too, and the Athenian woman by his side, that when he waked, of course she must be eyed.
Stand close! This is the same Athenian!
This is the woman,
Get away from me, please.
but not this the man.
Oh, why rebuke you him that loves you so? Lay breath so bitter on your bitter foe.
Now I but chide, but I should use thee worse, for thou, I fear, hast given me cause to curse. If thou hast slain Lysander in his sleep, being horseshoes in the blood, plunge in the deep and kill me too. The sun was not so true unto the day as he to me. Would he have stolen away from sleeping Hermia? It cannot be but thou hast murdered him. So should a murder look so dead, so grim.
So should the murdered look, and so should I, pierce through the heart with your stern cruelty. Yet, you, the murderer, looks as bright, as clear as yonder Venus in her glimmering sphere.
What's this to my Lysander? Oh, good Demetrius, wilt thou give him me?
Oh, I'd rather give his carcass to my hound.
Oh, out, dog! Out, cur! Thou'st driven me past the pounds of maiden's patience. Hast thou slain him, then?
You spend your passion on a misprized mood. I am not guilty of Lysander's blood. Nor is he dead, for aught that I can tell.
I pray thee, then, tell me that he is well.
And if I could, what should I get there for?
A privilege. Never to see me more, and from thy hated presence part I, see me no more, whether he be dead or no.
There is no following her in this fierce vein. Here, therefore, for a while, I will remain.
What hast thou done? Thou hast mistaken quite and laid the love juice on some true love sight. About the wood, go swifter than the wind, and Helena of Athens, look thou find. All fancy sick she is, and pale of cheer, with sighs of love that costs the fresh blood dear. By some illusion, see thou bring her here. I'll charm his eyes against she doth appear.
I go, look how I go, swifter than arrow from the Tartar's bow.
Flower of this purple dye, hit with Cupid's archery, sink in apple of his eye. When his love he doth espy, let her shine as gloriously as the Venus of the sky. When thou wakest, if she be by, beg of her for remedy.
Captain of our fairy band, Helena is here at hand, and the youth, mistook by me, pleading for a lover's fee. Shall we their fond pageant see? Lord, what fools these mortals be!
Why should you think that I should woo and scorn?
Stand aside. The noise they make will cause Demetrius to awake.
Then we'll two at once woo one. That must needs be sport alone. And those things do best please me that befall preposterously.
Scorn and derision never comes in tears. Look, when I vow I weep, and vows so born in their nativity all truth appears. How can these things in me seem scorn to you, bearing the badge of faith to prove them true?
These vows are Hermia's. Will you give her o'er? Weigh oath with oath, and you will nothing weigh. Your vows to her and me put in two scales will even weigh, and both as light as tails.
I had no judgment when to her I swore.
Nor none in my mind now you give her o'er.
Oh, Helen, goddess, nymph, perfect, divine, to what, my love, shall I compare thine Aine? Crystal is muddy, oh, how ripe in show thy lips, those kissing cherries, tempting grow. For want of words to speak, oh, let me kiss this princess pure of soul, the seal of bliss.
Oh, spite! Oh, hell, I see you are all bent to set against me for your merriment. If you were civil and knew courtesy, you would not do me thus much injury. Can you not hate me, as I know you do, but you must join in souls to mock me, too? If you are men as men you are in show, you would not use a gentle lady so, to vow and swear and superpraise my parts, when I am sure you hate me with your hearts. You both are rivals and love Hermia, and now both rivals to mock Helena.
You are unkind, Demetrius. be not so. For you love Hermia, this you know I know. And here, with all goodwill, with all my heart, in Hermia's love I yield you up my part. And yours of Helen to me bequeath, whom I love, and will do to my death.
Never did mockers waste more idle breath.
Lysander, keep thy Hermia. I will none. If e'er I loved her, all that love is gone. My heart to her but as guestwise sojourned. And now to Helen is it home returned, there to remain.
It is not so.
Disparage not the faith thou dost not know, lest to thy peril thou abide it dear. Look where thy love comes, yonder is thy dear.
Dark night, that from the eye his function takes, the ear more quick of apprehension makes. When it doth impair the seeing sense, it pays the hearing double recompense. Thou art not by mine eye, Lysander, found mine ear, I thank it, brought me to that sound. But why unkindly didst thou leave me so?
Why should he stay whom love doth press to go?
What love could press Lysander from my side?
Lysander's love, that would not let him bide. Fair Helen, who more engilds the night than all yon fiery orbs and eyes of light. Why seek'st thou me? Could not this make thee know the hate I bear thee made me leave thee so?
You speak not as you think. It cannot be.
Lo, she is one of this confederacy. Now I perceive they have conjoined all three to fashion this false sport in spite of me. Injurious Hermia, most ungrateful maid, have you conspired? Have you with these contrived to bait me with this foul derision? Is all the counsel that we two have shared, the sisters' vows, the hours that we have spent when we have chid the hasty-footed time for parting us, is all forgot? All school-a-days friendship, childhood innocence? And will you rent our ancient love asunder to join with men in scorning your poor friend? It is not friendly. 'Tis not maidenly, our sex as well as I may chide you for it, though I alone do feel the injury.
I am amazed at your passionate words. I scorn you not. It seems as though you scorn me.
Have you not set Lysander, as in scorn, to follow me and praise my eyes and face? And made your other love, Demetrius, who even but now did spurn me with his foot, to call me goddess, nymph, divine and rare, precious, celestial. Wherefore speaks he this to her he hates? And wherefore doth Lysander deny your love so rich within his soul, and tender me, forsooth, affection, but by your setting on, by your consent?
I understand not what you mean by this.
I do. Persever, counterfeit sad looks, make mouths upon me when I turn my back, wink at each other, hold the sweet jest up. If you had any pity, grace, or manners, you would not make me such an argument. But fare you well. 'Tis partly mine own fault, which death or absence soon shall remedy.
Stay, gentle Helena. Hear my excuse, my love, my life, my soul, fair Helena.
Oh, excellent.
Sweet. Do not scorn her so.
If she cannot entreat, I can compel.
Thou canst compel, no more than she can entreat. Thy threats have no more strength than her weak praise. Helen, I love thee, by my life I do. I swear by that which I will lose for thee, to prove him false that says I love thee not.
I say I love thee more than he can do.
If thou say so, withdraw and prove it too.
Quick, come!
Lysander, where to tends all this?
Hang off, thou cat! Thou vile thing let loose, or I will shake thee from me like a serpent.
Why are you grown so rude? What change is this, sweet love?
Thy love? Out dog, oh hated poison hence.
Do you not jest?
Yes, sooth, and so do you.
Demetrius, I will keep my word with thee.
I would I had your bond, for I perceive a weak bond holds you. I'll not trust your word.
What, should I hurt her, strike her, kill her dead? Although I hate her, I will not harm her so.
Why can you do me greater harm than hate? Hate me, wherefore, oh me, what news, my love? Am I not Hermia? Are you not Lysander? I am as fair now as I was erewhile, yet since night you loved me, Why then you left me, oh the gods forbid in earnest, shall I say?
I, by my life, and never did desire to see thee more. Therefore be out of hope, of question, of doubt, be certain nothing truer. 'Tis no jest that I do hate thee, and love Helena.
You juggler, you cankerblossom, you thief of love, what have you come by night and stolen my love's heart from him?
Fine faith. Have you no modesty, no maiden shame, no touch of bashfulness? What, will you tear impatient answers from my gentle tongue? Fie, you counterfeit, you puppet, you!
Oh, puppet! That way goes the game. Now I perceive she hath made compare between our statures. She hath urged her height, and with her personage, her tall personage, she hath prevailed with him. And are you grown so high in his esteem because I am so dwarfish and so low? How low am I, thou painted maple? How low am I? I am not yet so low that my nails can reach into thine eyes.
You mock me, gentlemen, let her not hurt me. I was never cursed. I have no gift at all in shrewishness. I am right made for my cowardice. Let her not strike me. You perhaps may think because she is something lower than myself that I can match her.
Lower! Hark again!
Hey!
Good Hermia, do not be so bitter with me. I evermore did love you, Hermia. Did ever keep your counsels and never wronged you. Save that in love unto Demetrius. I told him of your stealth unto this wood. He followed you, for love I followed him. But he hath chid me hence, and threatened me to strike me, spurn me, nay, to kill me too. And now so you will let me quiet go, to Athens will I bear my folly back, and follow you no further. Let me go. You see how simple and how fond I am.
Why get you gone? Who is that hinders you?
A foolish heart that I leave here behind.
What? With Lysander?
With Demetrius?
Yes! Be not afraid, fair Helena. She shall not harm thee.
No, sir, she shall not, though you take her part.
Oh, when she's angry, she's keen and shrewd. She was a vixen when she went to school. And though she be but little, she is fierce.
Little! Again! Nothing but low and little! Why will you suffer her to flaunt me thus? Let me come to her.
Get you gone, you dwarf! You minimus of hindering not grass maid! You bead, you acorn!
You are too officious in her behalf that scorned your services. Now follow, if thou darest, to try whose right of thine or mine is most in Helena.
Follow? Nay, I will go with thee, cheek by jowl.
Cheek by jowl. Ugh!
You mistress. All this coil is long of you. Nay, go not back.
I will not trust you, nor longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands than mine are quicker for a fray. My legs are longer, though, to run away!
I am amazed! And know not what to say.
This is thy negligence. Still, thou mistakest, or else commits thy knaveries willingly?
Believe me, King of Shadows, I mistook. Did not you tell me I should know the man by the Athenian garments he hath on? And so far, blameless proves my enterprise, that I have anointed an Athenian's eyes. And so far, I am glad it did so sort. For this there jangling I esteem a sport.
Thou seest these lovers seek a place to fight. High, therefore, Robin, overcast the night, and lead these testy rivals so astray as come not within another's way. Then crush this herb into Lysander's eye, whose liquor hath this virtuous property, to take from thence all error with his might, and make his eyeballs roll with wonted sight. When next they wake, all this derision shall seem a dream and fruitless vision, and back to Athens shall the lovers wend, with league whose date till death shall never end, whiles I in this affair do thee employ all to my queen, and beg her Indian boy, and then I will her charmed eye release from monster's view, and all things shall be peace.
My fairy lord, this must be done with haste, for night swift dragons cut the clouds full fast, and yonder shines Aurora's harbinger.
But we are spirits of another sort. I, with the morning's love, have oft made sport, but notwithstanding haste, make no delay, we may effect this business yet ere day.
Up and down, I will lead them up and down. I am feared in field and town. Goblins, lead them up and down. Here comes one.
Where art thou, O proud Demetrius? Speak thou now.
Here, villain, drawn and ready.
Where art thou?
I will be with thee straight.
Follow me then to the plainer
ground. Lysander, speak again. Thou runaway, thou coward, art thou fled? Speak in some bush, or dost thou hide thy head?
Thou coward, art thou bragging to the stars, telling the bushes thou lookest for wars, and will not come? Come, recreant, come thou child. I'll whip thee with a rod. He is defiled that draws the sword on thee.
Yea, art thou there?
Follow my voice. We'll try no manhood here.
Huh? He goes before me and still dares me on. When I come where he calls, then he is gone. The villain is much lighter heeled than I. I followed fast, but faster he did fly. Oh, that fallen am I in that dark, uneven way, and will rest me here. Oh, come thou gentle day, for if but once thou show me thy gray light, I'll find Demetrius, and avenge this spite.
Ho, ho, ho,
coward. Why comest
Why
thou not?
comest thou not?
Where art thou?
Come hither. I am here.
Nay, then thou mock'st me. Thou shalt buy this deer if ever I thy face by daylight see. Now go thy way. Faintness constraineth me to measure out my length on this cold bed. My day's approach, look to be visited.
Oh, weary night, oh, long and tedious night, abate thy hours. Shine comforts from the east, that I may back to Athens by daylight from these that my poor company detest.
And sleep, that sometimes shuts up sorrow's eye. Steal me a while for mine own company.
Yet but three. Come one more. Two of both kinds make up four. Here she comes, cursed and sad. Cupid is a knavish lad, thus to make poor females mad.
Never so weary, never so in woe. Bedabbled with the dew and torn with briars, my legs can no further crawl, no further go. My legs can keep no pace with my desires. Here will I rest me till the break of day. Heavens shield Lysander if they mean a fray.
On the ground, sleep sound. I'll apply your eye, gentle lover, remedy. When thou wakest, thou takest true delight in the sight of thy former lady's eye, and the country proverb known, every man should take his own. In your waking shall be shown. Jack shall have chill, naught shall go ill. The man shall have his mare again. All shall be well.
Come, sit thee down upon this flowery bed, while I thy amiable cheeks do coy, and stick musk roses in thy sleek, smooth head, and kiss thy fair, large ears, my gentle joy.
Where's Peaseblossom?
Ready?
Scratch my head, Peaseblossom. Where's Monsieur Cobweb?
Ready?
Monsieur Cobweb, good Monsieur, get your weapons in your hand and kill me a red-hipped humblebee on the top of a thistle. And, good Monsieur, bring me the honey bag. Do not fret yourself too much in the action, Monsieur. And, good Monsieur, have a care that the honey bag break not. I would be loath to have you overflown with a honey bag, Signor. Where's Monsieur Mustardseed?
Ready. What's your will?
Nothing, Monsieur Mustardseed, but to help Pensioner Peaseblossom to scratch. I must to the barber's, Monsieur, for methinks I am marvelous hairy about the face. And I am such a tender ass, if my hair do but tickle me, I must scratch.
What, wilt thou hear some music, my sweet love?
I have a reasonable good ear in music. Let us have the tongues and the bones.
Or say, sweet love, what thou desirest to eat?
Truly, a peck of provender. I could munch your good, dry oats.
Oh.
Methinks I have a great desire to a bottle of hay. Good hay, sweet hay hath no fellow.
I have a venturous fairy that shall seek the squirrel's hoard and fetch thee new nuts.
I'd rather have a handful or two of dried peas. But I pray you, let none of your people stir me. I have an exposition of sleep come upon me.
Sleep thou, and I will wind thee in my arms. Fairies, be gone, and be always away.
Ma'am.
So doth the woodbine the sweet honeysuckle gently entwist. The female ivy so enrings the barky fingers of the elm. Oh, how I love thee, how I dote on thee.
Welcome, good Robin! Seest thou this sweet sight? Her dotage now I do begin to pity, for meeting her of late behind the wood, seeking sweet savors for this hateful fool, I did upbraid her, and fall out with her, and she, in mild terms, begged my patience. I then did ask of her changeling child, which straight she gave me, and her fairy sent to bear him to my bower in fairyland. And now I have the boy. I will undo this hateful imperfection of her eyes. And, gentle Puck, take this transformed scalp from off the head of this Athenian swain, that he, awaking when the other do, may all to Athens back again repair, and think no more of this night's accidents, but as the fierce vexation of a dream. But first, I will release the fairy queen. Be thou as thou wast wont to be, see as thou wast wont to see. Dian's bud or Cupid's flower hath such force and blessed power. O my Titania, wake you, my sweet queen.
Why, Oberon, what visions have I seen? Methought I was enamored of an ass.
There lies your love.
No, good hay.
How came these things to pass?
Silence a while. Robin, take off his head. Titania, music call and strike more dead than common sleep. Of all these, find the sense.
Music, music, such that charmeth sleep.
When thou wakest with thine own fool's eyes peep.
Sound music. Come, my queen. Take hands with me. And rock the ground whereon these sleepers be. Now thou and I are new in amity, and will, tomorrow midnight, solemnly dance Duke Theseus' house triumphantly, and bless it all to fair posterity. There shall the pairs of faithful lovers be wedded, with Theseus all in jollity.
Fairy king, attend and mark. I do hear the morning lark.
Then, my queen, in silent sad trip we after the night's shade. We the globe can compass soon, swifter than the wandering moon.
Come, my lord, and in our flight, tell me how it came this night, that I sleeping here was found with these mortals on the ground.
One of you, find out the forester. Our observation is performed, and since we have the wayward of the day, my love shall hear the music of my hounds. Uncouple in the western valley, let them go. We will, my queen, up to the mountain's top and mark the musical confusion of hounds and echo in conjunction.
I was with Hercules and Cadmus once, when in a wood of Crete they bade the bear with hounds of Sparta. Never did I hear so musical a discord, such sweet thunder.
My hounds are bred out of the Spartan kind, so flued, so sanded, and their heads are hung with ears that sweep away the morning dew. No pack for prey or cry more tunable was ever hallowed to, nor cheered with horn in Crete, in Sparta, nor in Thessaly. Judge when you hear. But soft, what nymphs are these?
My lord, this is my daughter here asleep, and this Lysander, this Demetrius's, and this Helena, old Nader's Helena. I wonder of this being here together.
No doubt they rose up early to observe the rite of May, and hearing our intent, came here in grace of our solemnity. But speak, Aegeus, is not this the day that Hermia was to give answer of her choice?
It is, my lord.
Good morrow, friends. St. Valentine is past. Begin these wood birds but a couple now?
Pardon, my lord.
I pray you all stand up. I know you two are rival enemies. How comes this gentle concord in the world?
My lord, I shall reply amazedly, half sleep, half waking, but as yet I swear I cannot say how I came here. But as I think, for truly would I speak, and now I do bethink me so it is. I came with Hermia hither. Our intent was to be gone from Athens, where we might be without peril of the Athenian law.
Enough, enough, my lord, you have enough. I beg the law upon his head. They would have stolen away. They would, Demetrius, thereby to have defeated you and me. You of your wife, and me of my consent that she should be your wife.
My lord, fair Helen told me of their stealth, of this their purpose hither, to this wood, and I in fury hither followed them. Fair Helena in fancy followed me. But my good lord, I wot not by what power, but by some power it is. My love to Hermia melted as the snow. Seems to me now as the remembrance of an idol god, which in my childhood I did dote upon. And all the faith, the virtue of my heart, the object and the pleasure of mine eye, is only Helena. To her, my lord, was I betrothed ere I saw Hermia. But like a sickness, did I loathe this food. But as in health come to my natural taste, now I do wish it, love it, long for it, and will forevermore be true to it.
Aww.
Fair lovers, you are fortunately met. Of this discourse we shall hear more anon. Aegeus, I will overbear your will. For in the temple by and by with us, these lovers shall eternally be knit. Our mourning now is something worn. Our purposed hunting shall be set aside. Away with us to Athens, 3 and 3. We'll hold a feast in great solemnity. Come, Hippolyta.
These things seem small and undistinguishable, like far-off mountains turned into clouds.
Methinks I see these things with parted eye, when everything seems double.
So methinks. And I have found Demetrius like a jewel, mine own and not mine own.
It seems to me that yet we sleep, we dream. Do not you think the Duke was here and bid us follow him?
Yea, and my father.
And Hippolyta.
And he bid us follow to the temple.
Why, then we are awake. Let's follow him. And, by the way, let us recount our dreams.
When my cue comes, call me and I will answer. My next is most fair Pyramus. Oh. Peter Quince, Flute, the bellows mender, Snout the tinker,
Starveling?
God's my life, stolen hence and left me asleep. I have had a most rare vision. I had a dream. Past the wit of man to say what dream it was. Man is but an ass if he go about to expound this dream. Methought I was. There is no man can tell what. Methought I was, and methought I had. But man is but a patched fool if he will offer to say what methought I had. The eye of man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. Man's hand is not able to taste, his tongue to conceive, nor his heart to report what my dream was. I will get Peter Quince to write a ballad of this dream. It shall be called Bottom's Dream, because it hath no bottom. And I shall sing it in the latter end of the play before the Duke. Peradventure, to make it the more gracious, I shall sing it at her death.
Have you sent to Bottom's house? Is he come home yet?
He cannot be heard of. Out of doubt, he is transported. If he come not, then the play is marred. It goes not forward, doth it?
It is not possible. You have not a man in all Athens able to discharge Pyramus, but he...
No. He hath simply the best wit of any handicraft man in Athens.
Yea, and the best person, too. And he is a very paramour for a sweet voice.
Masters! The Duke is coming from the temple, and there's 2 or 3 lords and ladies more merry. If our sport had gone forward, it had all been made men.
Oh, sweet bully bottom. Thus hath he lost 6 pence a day in his life.
Yeah, he did.
He could not escape 6 pence a day.
Really?
And the Duke had not given him 6 pence a day for playing Pyramus. I'll be hanged.
Yes.
He would have deserved it.
Absolutely.
6 pence a day in Pyramus. 6 pence a day, or nothing.
Where are these lads? Where are these hearts?
Bottom! Almost courageous day, almost happy hour.
Masters, I am to discourse wonders. But ask me not what, for if I tell you, I am no true Athenian. I will tell you everything as it fell out!
Yes, here, sweet bottom!
Not a word of me. All that I am to say is that the Duke hath dined. Get your apparel together, good strings to your beards, new ribbons to your pumps. Meet presently at the palace, and every man look o'er his part, for the short and the long is. Our play is preferred! In any case, let this be half clean linen, and let not he who plays the lion pare his nails, for they shall hang out for the lion's claws. And most dear actors, eat no onions nor garlic, for we are to utter sweet breath. And I do not doubt but to hear them say, it is a sweet comedy. No more words! Away! Go! Away!
'Tis strange, my Theseus, that these lovers speak of.
More strange than true. I never may believe these antic fables, nor these fairy toys. Lovers and madmen have such seething brains, such shaping fantasies that apprehend more than cool reason can ever comprehend. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are of imagination all compact. One sees more devils than vast hell can hold. That is the madman. The lover, all as frantic, sees Helen's beauty in Cassandra's brow. The poet's eye, in a fine frenzy rolling, doth glance from heaven to earth, from earth to heaven. And as imagination bodies forth the forms of things unknown, the poet's pen gives them shapes, and gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Such tricks hath strong imagination, that if it but apprehend some joy, it comprehend some bringer of that joy. Or in the night, imagining some fear, how easy is a bush supposed a bear?
But all the story of the night told over, and all their minds transfigured so together, more witnesseth than fancy's images, and grows to something of great constancy, but howsoever strange and admirable.
Here come the lovers, full of joy and mirth. Come now, what masks, what dances shall we have to wear away this long age of 3 hours between our after-supper and bedtime? Where is our usual manager of mirth? What revels are in hand? Is there no play to ease the anguish of a torturing hour? Collegius!
Here, mighty Theseus.
Say, what abridgment have you for this evening? What masks, what musics? How else shall we beguile the lazy time, if not with some delights?
A tedious brief scene of young Pyramus and his love Thisbe. Very tragical mirth.
Merry and tragical? Tedious and brief? That is hot ice and wondrous strange snow. How find we the concord of this discord?
A play there is, my lord, some 10 words long, which is as brief as I have known a play. But by 10 words, my lord, it is too long, which makes it tedious. For in all the play there is not one word apt, one player fitted. And tragical, my noble lord, it is, for Pyramus therein doth kill himself, which, when I saw rehearsed, I must confess made mine eyes water, but more merry tears, the passion of loud laughter never shed.
What are they that do play it?
Hard-handed men that do work in Athens here, that never labored in their minds till now, and now have toiled their unbreathed memories with this same play, against your nuptial. I have heard it over, and it is nothing in the world.
I will hear that play. For nothing can be amiss when simpleness and duty tender it. Go, bring them in, and take your places, ladies.
I love not to see wretchedness overcharged, and duty in his service perishing.
My love, you shall see no such thing.
He says they can do nothing in this kind.
The kind are we to give them thanks for nothing.
So please, your grace, the prologue is addressed.
Let him approach!
Pyramus.
I am Thisbe.
I am Pyramus.
I am Thisbe.
Every story tells a
am
story.
Pyramus.
I am
Every
Thisbe.
story tells
I
a story.
am Pyramus.
I am
Tells a
Thisbe.
story.
I am
Every story
Pyramus.
I am Thisbe.
I am Pyramus.
I'm the
Every story tells a story.
Pyramus.
I am Thisbe.
I
Glow bright.
Pyramus.
I
Dog
am
is the light
the
judges and the thorns within.
Thisbe.
This is the moonshine and this
Thisbe.
torch. Glow bright and ascend.
We
are Pyramus.
And Thisbe?
Gentles, perchance you wonder at this show, but wonder on till truth make all things plain. This man is Pyramus, if you would know. This beauteous lady, Thisbe is certain. This man with lime and rough cast doth present wall, that vile wall which did these lovers sunder, and through wall's hole, poor souls, they are content to whisper. At the which, let no man wonder, this man with lantern, dog, and bush of thorn presenteth moonshine. For, if you will know, by moonshine did these lovers think no scorn to meet at Ninus' tomb, there to woo. This grisly beast, which lion hight by name, the trusty Thisbe, coming first by night, did scare away, or rather, did affright. And as she fled, her mantle she did fall, which lion vile with bloody mouth did stain. Anon comes Pyramus, sweet youth and tall, and finds his Thisbe's mantle slain. Whereat, with bloody, blameful blade, he bravely broached his boiling, bloody breast. And Thisbe, tarrying in mulberry shade, his dagger drew and died. Boing. For all the rest, let lion, moonshine, wall, and lovers twain at large discourse, while here they do remain.
I wonder if the lion be to speak.
No wonder, my lord. One lion may when many asses do.
In this same interlude, it doth befall that I, one Snout by name, present a wall, and such a wall as I would have you know, that had in it a crannied flaw or hole, through which the lovers Pyramus and Thisbe did whisper often very secretly. This loam, this rough cast, this stone doth show that I am that same wall. The truth is so. And this the cranny is right and sinister, through which the fearful lovers are to whisper.
Would you desire lime and hair to speak better?
It is the wittiest partition that ever I heard discourse.
Pyramus draws near the wall. Silence!
Oh, grim-looked night. Oh, night with hue so black. Oh, night, whichever art when day is not. Oh, night, alack, alack, alack. I fear my Thisbe's promises for God. And thou, O wall, thou sweet and lovely wall, that stands between her father's ground and mine. Thou wall, oh sweet and lovely wall, show me thy rift to sift through with mine eyne. Thanks, courteous wall, Jove shield thee well for this. But what see I? No Thisbe do I see. Oh, wicked wall, through whom I see no bliss. Cursed be thy stones for thus deceiving me.
The wall, methinks, being sensible, should curse again.
No. In truth, sir, he should not. Deceiving me is Thisbe's cue. She is to enter, and I am to spy her through the wall. You shall see it will fall. Pat, as I told you, yonder she comes.
O wall, full often hast thou heard my moans for parting my fair Pyramus and me. My cherry lips have often kissed thy stones with lime and hair knit up in thee.
I see a voice. Now will I to the stone to spy, and I can hear my Thisbe's face. Thisbe?
My love thou art? My love, I think.
Think what thou wilt. I am thy lover's grace, and like Lysander I am trusty still.
And I, like Helen, to the fates me kill.
Not Shaphelus to Procris was so true.
As Shaphelus to Procris, I to you.
Oh, kiss me through the whole of this vile wall.
There. I kiss the wall's whole, not your lips at all.
Wilt thou at Ninny's tomb meet me straightway?
Tide life, tide death, I come without delay.
Thus have I, wall, my part, discharged so, and being done, thus wall away doth go.
This is the silliest stuff that ever I heard.
The best in this kind are but shadows, and the worst are no worse, if imagination amend them. But here come two noble beasts in, a man and a lion.
You ladies, you whose gentle hearts do fear the smallest monstrous mouse that creeps on floor, may now perchance both quake and tremble here, when lion, rough in wildest rage, doth roar. Roar. Then know that I, one snug the joiner, am a lion fell, nor else no lion's dam. For if I should, as lion, come in strife into this place, 'twere pity of my life.
A very gentle beast and of good conscience.
The very best at a beast, my lord, that e'er I saw.
This lantern doth the horned moon present.
He should have worn the horns on his head.
This lantern doth the horned moon present. Myself, the man in the moon, doth seem to be.
This is the greatest error of all the rest. The man should be put into the lantern. How else is the man in the moon?
Proceed, moon.
All that I have to say is to tell you that this lantern is the moon. Myself, the man in the moon, this thorn bush, my thorn bush, and this dog, my dog.
Why, all these should be put in the lantern, for they are in the moon. But silence. Here comes Thisbe.
This is old Ninny's tomb. Where is my love?
Oh, roar.
Well, Lord Lion.
Well run, Thisbe.
Well shown moon. Truly, the moon shines with a good grace.
And then came Pyramus.
Sweet moon, I thank thee for thy sunny beams. I thank thee, moon, for shining now so bright, for by thy gracious, golden, glittering gleams I trust to taste of truest Thisbe's sight. But stay! Oh, spite! But mark, poor knight, what dreadful dole is here. Eyes, do you see? How can it be? Oh, dainty duck. Oh, dear. Thy mantle good? What? Stained with blood? Approach, you furies fell. Oh, fates, come, cut thread and thrum, quail, crush, conclude, and quell.
This passion and the death of a dear friend would go near to make a man look sad.
Beshrew my heart, but I pity the man.
Wherefore nature didst thou lions frame? For lion vile hath here deflowered my dear, which is... No, which was the fairest dame that lived, that loved, that liked, that looked with cheer. Come tears, confound, out sword and wound the pap of Pyramus. I, that left pap, where heart doth hop, thus die I, thus! Now I am dead. Now I am fled. My soul is in the sky. Tongue, loose thy light. Moon, take thy flight. Now die.
How chance moonshine is gone before Thisbe comes back and finds her lover?
She will find him by starlight. Look, here she comes, and her passion ends the play.
Asleep, my love? What? Dead, my dove? Oh, Pyramus, arise! Speak! Quite dumb? Dead? Dead. A tomb must cover thy sweet eyes. These lily lips, this cherry nose, these yellow cowslip cheeks are gone. Lovers make moan. His eyes were green as leeks. Oh, sisters three, come to me. With hands as pale as milk, lay them in gore, since you have shore with shears his thread of silk. Tongue, not a word. Come, trusty sword, and come blade my breast imbrue. And farewell, friends. Thus Thisbe ends. Adieu.
Moonshine and lion are left to bury the dead.
Aye. And Wall too.
No, I assure you, the wall is down that parted their fathers. Would it please you to hear an epilogue or a Bergamask dance devised by our company?
No epilogue, I pray you. Your play needs no excuse. Never excuse, for when the players are all dead, there need none to be blamed. Marry, if he that writ it had played Pyramus and hung himself in Thisbe's garter, it would have been a fine tragedy. And so it is, and very notably discharged. But come, your Bergamask, let your epilogue alone.
What is this dream? It tasted like music on my tongue. The smell of the moon hanging in the trees. You would not believe me if I could tell you the taste of the earth, the horn of a beast. A dream came alive behind my eyes, wrapped around my face and through my tears. I was freed from all custom. All my senses were bridged beyond belief. and my ears could not see this vision at the bottom of everything. My skin could not taste, and my tongue out on my sleeve. Oh, my heart, are you still beating? What is this dream? 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 What is Now this is the important part. What is this dream? What is this dream? What is this dream? What is this dream?
The iron tongue of midnight hath told 12. Lovers to bed, 'tis almost fairy time.
Now the hungry lion roars, and the wolf behowls the moon, whilst the heavy ploughman snores, all with weary task fordone. Now the wasted brands do glow, whilst the screech owl, screeching loud, puts the wretch that lies in woe in remembrance of a shroud. Now it is that time of night, the graves all gaping wide, everyone lets forth his sprite, in the churchway paths to glide, and we fairies that do run by the triple Hecate's team from the presence of the sun, following darkness like a dream. Now our frolic, not a mouse shall disturb this hallowed house. I am sent with broom before, to sweep the dust behind the door.
Through the house give glimmering light, by the dead and drowsy fire, every elf and fairy sprite hop as light as bird from briar, and this ditty after me, sing and dance it trippingly.
First rehearse this song by rote, to each word a warbling note. So shall all the couples three ever true in loving be.
Now until the break of day, through this house each fairy stray, to the best bride and will we, which by us shall blessed be, hand in hand with fairy grace, will we sing and bless this place.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended. that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear. And this weak and idle theme, no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest puck, if we have unearned luck. Now to escape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long. Else the puck a liar call. So, good night unto you all. Give me your hands, if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.
Trip away, make no stay. Meet me all by break of day.
In A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, Cassidy Berg played Hippolyta, Connor Boorman, Lysander, Lucas Bueling, Robin Starveling, and Mustardseed, Vivian Chaffin, Nick Bottom, Louisa Darr, Hermia, Pip Edmund, Demetrius, Maeve Filkins, Tom Snout, and Moth. Garrett Haynes played Francis Flute, Mira Iwaszek, Puck, or Robin Goodfellow. Anya Johnson played Peaseblossom, Titus Kelcher, Peter Quince, Louise Kelly, Titania, Ilsa Prokish, Snug, and Aegeus, Abraham Riker, Oberon, Soren Stoffaker, Cobweb, Ashlyn Walters, Helena, and Blake Walters, Theseus. This recording was produced by Shakespearean Youth Theatre under the artistic direction of Logan Verdorn, stage management by Gabriel Peñalosa Hernandez and Maria Signorelli. Sound design and original music by Dan Dukic and Kevin Springer, featuring musical performances by Cole Primo, Kaylin Keir, and Nick Simon. Web design by Josh Dudley. Special thanks to Allison Ruth and Emily Zimmer. A Midsummer Night's Dream was adapted and directed by Lucas Brazier-Fons. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Metropolitan Regional Arts Council, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.